Hello everyone, this is a video lecture for College Algebra Math 1314 Section 8.1. We're doing systems of equations. The very first problem is solve the system of equations, and they give you something kind of like this. So there's a couple methods. I'm going to choose the substitution method for this. Basically, we have a y that's already here. It's already kind of set up. I like this a lot, and I'm going to just plug it in, and that's it. So x minus 2 times, well, not just y now, it's going to be x, or 2x minus the 18, and then equals 6. Distribute your negative 2. That negative comes right along with it, so you get a negative 4x. Two negatives make a positive right here. 36? I think it's 36. I'm just going to verify. Always good to verify, okay? Even if you think you know it, it's good to verify. Got 6. So combine like terms, these guys here will make a negative 3x. I can minus the 36 to the other side. So then I have now negative 3x is equal to negative 30. Divide by the negative 3. And two negatives make a positive. We get x equals 10. To be able to solve for y, I'm going to take the y formula that we have been given, and I'm going to plug in the x that we found, and we got 20 minus 18, y equals 2. So these are my answers here, 10 and 2, and how your math homework program is going to want this is in point form, 10 comma 2 in parentheses, it's basically representing an XY point like that. So you do have to put it in that format with the parentheses, with the comma, everything like that. That's just how they want it, and that's fine. It's actually a good thing to do that. So you solved your first system of equations. Let's do another one. So solve the system of equations again. There's a few methods for this. I'm going to choose the addition method. And I'm going to use a different color to show you, but if I put a big old plus sign right here, like that, on it, what happens is that these 15s right here should cancel. Positive 15 minus 15 makes a 0. Everything else is going to be just, I guess, regular stuff here. So 5x is equal to 10. Divide by the 5, and you get x equals 2. So that's awesome. We like that. Now we have to go and find y. So you can either use the top or the bottom. I'm going to use the top just because. It doesn't really matter. And I'm going to plug in that 2 for my x. And I'm going to solve for y. Well, 2 times 2 is 4. Minus the 4 on both sides. We actually get a 0. Divide by 15 on both sides. Y equals 0. It is okay to get 0. It's just another number. That sort of thing happens. And so our answer would be 2, 0. That's just it. You're done. Cool. So not too hard. So that's a different method of doing it. It's easier to do this whenever things are going to cancel. If things don't cleanly cancel, I tend not to do this method, honestly. I like to plug things in a lot more. The other way that I would use this is if plugging it in would give you fractions. Fractions are not terrible, but you probably shouldn't always have them. Like most problems don't have fractions. Make that a little bit easier looking there. Okay. So it says solve. There's a couple ways we can do this again. We could try to do an addition method. We could try to do a substitution thing. I'm going to try to get y by itself. This one looks like you can get a y by itself pretty easily. So I'm going to minus the 5x first. So I get y is equal to 17 minus 5x. That's kind of like my formula. And now I can just plug it in right there. That didn't look very good. There we go. So 8x minus 2 times 17 minus 5x is equal to 20. Distribute your negative 2. So, oops, negative. 2 times 17, 34. Just going to verify. Yep, 34. Two negatives make a positive, 10x. Combine like terms, these actually make an 18x. I'm going to add 34 to both sides to make a 54. So 54 divided by 18 is 3. Again, sometimes you get fractions, but I would say that it would be much more rare to get fractions right now. We have x. We also have a formula for y, so I should be able to plug that in. 17 minus 5 times the 3. 17 minus 15, 2. So my answer then is 3, 2 in parentheses as an xy point. Let's keep going. Number 4, it's more like a word problem. There's a company that has... Let me try that a little bit better there. There you go. Company has a fixed cost of $18,000 and a production of each unit of $100, and it sells each unit for $400. I don't know if it's going to be bicycles or canoes or whatever. It doesn't really matter. $18,000 fixed cost, and it costs $100 to make every one of these things, but they sell it for $400 each. So what is the cost? Well, the cost function would definitely include the fixed cost of $18,000, and then you would have $100 for each unit that is produced. And that's it. That's actually your answer. That's your formula. You're done. Your revenue would be the 400x. And so for every time you sell it, you get $400. That's your revenue. The break-even point on this problem is strange. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this particular problem, because obviously these are not hard. What we need to do is set them equal to one another. So cost equals revenue. So C equals R, I guess. And let's see where that would end up. So solve for x. I'm going to minus the 100x on both sides. And so we get 300x is equal to the 18,000 divided by the 300. And I think it's like 6,000 or something. I don't know. We're going to verify. 660? I don't know. Hold on. 60. Just 60. I knew there was a 6 in there. So I have an x of 60. So what they're wanting here is a point 60, comma, and it's not 0. Now, that would make sense because it's break even. Your net would be 0. They don't want net. What they want is some kind of dollar amount that has gone through the company's pockets. I know that sounds weird, but essentially, all you're really doing is taking the 60 and you're going to plug it into either one of these. That's it. I'm going to plug it into the bottom one because it's very easy. 400 times 60. Calculator. 400 times 60 is a lot. 24,000. And that's actually what you put here in the box. 24,000. Like, that's your answer now. So 60, 24,000 in parentheses as an XY point. That is your final answer. So it's kind of weird. Actually, it's very weird what they're wanting here. But, again, I know break-even means that they're equal to one another, and it's 0 cost in the end, 0 gained also. But they're wanting to know how much money has gone through your hands, essentially. It was weird. I wanted to talk about it. All right, another one. This is a word problem, and the math homework program is a little weird on this one. But in the end, it's not a hard problem. We just have to understand kind of what they're getting at. Also, there are other ways to get these things. I'm going to discuss that here in just a few minutes. But the math homework program is kind of wanting you to do this by hand. And so if you go through it, it probably will give you by hand answers. Let's just go and do this. So I'm just saying it's kind of a little weird. That's why I want to talk about it. So the by hand method, of course, we're going to just get x by itself, I guess, on the bottom. That's pretty easy to me. So I'm going to minus the 4y on both sides. And so that's my formula for x. X equals 176 minus the 4y. I'm going to plug that in right here. So I got negative 5 times my x plus 30y is equal to 160. Distribute your negative 5. And we're getting big numbers real quick like. I mean, they're trying to be like application questions and stuff. And that's fine. And it's not hard. Combine like terms. But when it starts getting a little bit bigger numbers, sometimes using a calculator from the very beginning is probably the best. And I will show you what I mean in full here in just a second. So let me add these guys here. I don't think, yeah, it does not give me a whole number. And I think that's expected. They're wanting you to round eventually. Time. This problem is just strange. So I got a 20.8 for my y. Let's go and find out what my x would be. Plug that in. Well, I have that formula, so, well, might as well plug it in. Do I plug in the 20.8? Or do I plug in a 21? Those are very good questions. And I would say even I don't quite know what this problem is always wanting. So now I got that. So we have to understand what they're actually looking for. X is the number of years after 1970. So 93 years? And they're wanting like the year of, like the year blah, blah, blah AD. So we're going to like have to find out what that would be. If it's going to be a whole year, I'm going to round this up to 93. And so then we got 1970 plus the 93. Again, calculator, just verifying that we're going to get this right. And I got 2063. So that's going to be my part A answer right here, 2063. Now, they want the percentage, and they say y is a percentage, and there's your y. And if they say a whole number, again, it just depends on what they're saying here. If they're saying a whole number, well, then I would say it's 21%, and you put a 21 in there. If they're wanting one decimal place, you can obviously just put that there, because that's easy to do as well. This is just a weird problem. If you get it wrong because of a rounding issue or something, just try again, go a different method maybe. Or you can follow along with what I'm going to do here in just a few minutes. So I know it's a little weird. In the end, the problem is not hard. It's just weird on the homework program. Okay, last one is actually my own. And I just wanted to show you a new method for solving all of these, and even number 5 like we were just doing a second ago. So we can always do these by hand, but the point moving forward is that we should be using technology. In particular, we're going to be using Desmos. I'm going to use Desmos graphing to solve these problems. I'm going to simply put these in there, and we're going to get an answer. I'm going to show you that here in just a second. I'm not very creative. This is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12. I want to show you how this works and what it looks like, and maybe I'll try some other variations when I'm here. So let's try this stuff out. I'm not going to come back to this probably. I'm just going to show you. So here we go, Desmos. So here's Desmos. I'm going to click on Desmos Graphing Calculator, and I'm going to type in my very unoriginal equations. So 1x 2y equals 3, and 4x plus 5y equals 6. I want to see when they're intersecting, and that is it right here. You're done. That's your answer. You can even see that it's in the parentheses point format. That is it. You go into your homework program, you type that in, you are done. Nothing else to talk about. So this will work for pretty much all of the other problems, and that's maybe why I didn't do so many examples today. I just wanted to show you a couple from the homework that were a little weird. But what if we did that other one that I was doing earlier, the other one that I was showing you? And notice that something's a little weird here. It's different. So what happened to my red line? So if I get rid of the blue line, oh, it's on top of one another. what's going on is that these are identical to one another, and there's a different way to say this answer. So you would actually say that this is infinite solutions. Infinite solutions. You just gotta hear me on that. Infinite solutions, because they're touching everywhere. It's not just one point. I know these point. This is just Desmos showing you those x and y intercepts. Not anything to do with this problem. They're on top of one another. Okay, so that's infinite solutions. But here's another variation. What if I had a 15 there instead? Notice that they're parallel lines now. I'm going to ask you, where are they intersecting? And you would actually have to say never. So they're never intersecting. What's the answer is no solution. No solution. So if they're never touching, no solution. If they're always touching, infinite solutions. And if they touch like at one point, like they're intersecting at a single point, you would just say one solution. And then you would have to go and type it in, whatever that is. So Desmos is very powerful. I recommend just going back through all the homework and putting this in. Just type in what you ever have, and it'll just give you the answer. It's very handy, and it's nice to look at too. So that's all I got for you. Thank you very much, and have a great day.